The Department of Homeland Security's published figures state that from 2009 through 2013, 605,000 people entered the United States without inspection. That's just over 500,000 people in a 5-year period. It's by no means as many people as Republicans might claim, but it's also nothing to sneeze at. That's a fair number of people. I would be remiss if I didn't specify that this number isn't just from those crossing the southern border with Mexico illegally. It also includes people coming in on ships, planes, and a variety of other methods. So how did we deal with this problem? How do we reform immigration? In my opinion, immigration reform can be done in 5 parts. I'll get into the logistical and morality angles in other videos, but right now I just want to lay out my general set of solutions and favored policies. So, number 1, secure the border. Now, I believe that a wall is a stain on our country, but there's already one across half the border anyway. Both George Bush and Hillary Clinton were huge supporters of the construction of this barrier back in the 2000s. In 2006, Hillary Clinton and other high-profile Democrats like Chuck Schumer, Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Barbara Boxer, and Dianne Feinstein all voted in favor of the construction of a wall. So let's let Trump finish the stupid thing. We can fly drones up and down the border at all times. We can start to hire better border guards who aren't so trigger-happy. But we should also immediately deport all crossers who don't meet refugee standards. Number 2, we should criminally prosecute American employers who illegally employ iwis and overstays. Iwis are people who have entered without inspection. This is what the media and our politicians commonly call illegal immigrants. Illegal immigrant is actually a misnomer. There's no such thing, because an immigrant is someone with a green card, with permanent residency that they got legally. What we have are illegal aliens, but more specifically what they are iwis, entered without inspection. Overstays, on the other hand, are individuals who came into the country legally on a visa, and the visa expired, and they stayed beyond the expiration of their visa. They overstayed their visa. These are the 2 types of people, the 2 types of aliens who are here illegally. Now, if we criminally prosecute American employers who illegally employ iwis and overstays, this will remove the market for employment of illegal aliens, most of which is abusive in its nature anyway, because of the leverage the employer has over the employees. Then, we need to repair the economies of the states that have come to rely on this dark underbelly of cheap illegal workers. Do you want to hear something crazy? The last president to successfully get Congress to reform immigration law in any serious way was Ronald Reagan, if you can believe that. He signed an amnesty bill, a word that is now very dirty for Republicans. Can't say amnesty, even though it was a Republican president who gave 3.2 million illegal aliens amnesty in 1986. If you want to look it up, it's called the Immigration Reform and Control Act of 1986. It's also known as the Simpson-Mazzoli Act or the Reagan Amnesty Act. Now, one of the features of the act was that it required employers, American employers, to attest to their employees' immigration status and made it illegal to knowingly hire or recruit illegal aliens. This portion of the law relates directly to my number 2 point. If there were no more potential employers for illegal workers in the United States, much of the motivation to make the trek across the desert would be eliminated. This law is already in force, We just need to actually enforce it. We don't even need to add it. We don't need to legislate it. It is already law. We just need to make sure that our police and our different law enforcement agencies actually enforce this particular law. Number 3, we need to immediately deport all illegal aliens who have committed any violent crime or who are involved with organized crime like gangs or cartels. I think this is a no-brainer. The only problem is, if it's done before the border is secured, many of these folks will likely return. As they've already shown, they have no care for the rule of law whatsoever. Number 4, and this is where it gets good, we grant amnesty to all illegal aliens who are otherwise law-abiding residents of the United States and who are contributing to their communities or the country at large. Give them a special one-time status without a path to citizenship. Number 5, grant all remaining dreamers who were brought here as children and have known no other country amnesty with a path to citizenship. These are kids who have been raised in the United States. They have no memory of the country that they came from. They were not in control when they were brought across the border by their parents or by some other guardian. It was a situation that was forced on them, and they've made the best of their lives up to this point. For all intents and purposes, they are American in every way, except for a piece of paper that says that they are. These kids, however old they are now, as long as they are law-abiding citizens, should be granted amnesty with a path to full citizenship in the future. Now, here's a question. Are there any mainstream politicians taking stances like this? Well, that's a tough one. You see a lot of Republicans who want harsh crackdowns in line with my points number 1 and 2. And you see a lot of Democrats who talk a really good game, and they seem to want a combination of 4 and 5. Some of them want full amnesty for all illegal aliens who are law-abiding and a path to citizenship for all of them. Some of them just want it for the dreamers. However, nobody wants to talk about point number 2, about the American employers who are illegally employing these aliens who are here illegally. The reason that nobody wants to talk about it is that it would publicly lift the veil off a very nasty secret. There appears to be a dedication to intractability on both sides of the aisle, and extremely emotional narratives are used to keep compromise off the table. Both parties are playing the good guys to their base, and hammering them with propaganda to that effect. No president in over 30 years has been able to coax, shame, or force Congress to seriously sit down and hash it all out. I think at this point, it falls to the voters, it falls to us, to harass our representatives, to call them, to email them, to show up at their office, make appointments, and talk with them. And we have to back this up with the threat of voting for another candidate in future elections. Now, some of you are probably thinking, but this is a two-party system. Neither party is going to deal with this problem. How is the threat of voting for the other do-nothing party an effective threat? Well, this is where it gets a little more complicated, but there are solutions. Primary elections are elections within the party, and these allow people to select alternative candidates within the party of their choice. The thing is, voters need to be able to break with the orthodoxy of voting for the candidates backed by the party leadership, the ones that they call quote-unquote electable in the general elections. There are a lot of great candidates out there on both sides who, if they made it past the primaries, would have a really good shot at winning the election and holding office. However, they don't get the support from the party leadership because they actually want to do something. They actually want to sit down and compromise and to make a good deal that helps everybody. And the parties don't seem to want that. There are a lot of great candidates out there on both sides. They just don't receive money from the big party donors, and the media, without fail, refuses to give them coverage. I'm talking about candidates like, say, Allison Hartson, who's a Democrat from California, and Rob Ryers, who's a Republican from Arkansas. There are many others, and it's very possible that I'll make a video about some of them in the future. And let's say you're completely finished with the Democrats and the Republicans. You just can't take it anymore. You're sick of the intractability. You're sick of the fact that neither side does anything except talk. Well, there's also the possibility of voting for an independent candidate, a green candidate, a libertarian candidate, and on the state level, there are many different small parties, and you can read up and research the candidates from those parties and see if they fit with your values, your ideas of what you want in policy, and what you want from a person holding office in your state. It's really all a matter of getting people to realize that they have a lot more power than they understand, and that you can exercise this power as a voter to great effect. You have to call your representatives. You have to email them. You have to show up at town hall meetings and ask them the hard questions that they don't want to answer. You have to hold their feet to the fire, which is an expression that means you have to make sure that they actually do the job of representing you once they're in office, rather than just talking about representing you when they're running for office. If you enjoyed this production by the State of Opportunity, please like and subscribe. Remember, you're the ones who make this all possible. You can also check out our Facebook page at Opportunity State and follow us on Twitter at @OfByOpportunity. If you feel like chipping in a couple bucks, please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/stateofopportunity. Have a great day, and remember to always keep an open mind.